You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So this game has a chance to be interesting, but not from the scoreboard fact to me. Again, I think this is the best passing offense that Ole Miss has played thus far this season. Don't give me LSU. Don't give me Arkansas. Don't give me any of that. Schematically, Arkansas has other stuff. Mike Washington is the key to that offense. Garrett Nussmeier, not 100%. I don't care what anybody says. He's a little bit injured. Ole Miss played very well in that LSU game, but that LSU passing attack, that LSU offense just wasn't quite right. This Washington State passing offense, they have no run game. They've ran for a total of 500 yards this season. And if you take away 5 explosive runs, that's 20% of their run game gone. This Washington State run game has been abysmal over the course of this season. So I expect Ole Miss to do the drop 8 thing again. Dare Washington State to run the football. They have some good players at running back. They just don't seem to have the athletes up front at the moment to get a push, to generate that. So they're having to rely on their passing game. And schematically, they are good at getting people open from time to time. Now, they're so one-dimensional, they can't always do it because everybody eventually can pin their ears back and go get the quarterback. But Washington State is going to score some points. And that was the first step of my mind in come up with the prediction of this. You look at the betting lines as it sits right now, the betting line has gone down by a point. It's now Ole Miss favored by 32.5 points. The over-under is at 58.5. So that all makes me wonder about what's going on. Where's kind of the ballpark of that? Because I do think this betting line will be kind of that. Is going to be around that point total, especially when you look at Washington State giving up 3 points per drive over the course of the season. The fact that they're giving up large completion percentage to power teams that they see on the back end of that defense. Defensively, they are struggling at the moment. Offensively, they can't run the ball, which means they will eventually potentially become one-dimensional, which means that Suntarine Perkins and those guys can just go hunt. And if that happens, it's Katie bar the door. That's explosive plays. That's interceptions, pick sixes, 3rd and 17s. All of that is on the fingertips of Pete Golding. If he can get the explosive plays out of the defense, then honestly it needs to happen. Washington State is pretty good at pass pro. They're not good at run blocking. So we'll see how that looks for Ole Miss. Now, the game, I added 10 points to the Ole Miss side of the ledger. Ole Miss 48, Washington State 17. A lot of that, like I said, came from the fact that Washington State has given up 3 points per drive this season. Ole Miss, by comparison, has only given up 1 or so. And that tells me that Ole Miss should win this game by scoring 2 out of every 3 points. So if Washington State's going to score 17, Ole Miss is going to kind of be in that ballpark as well. I do not think Ole Miss covers. I think it's going to be just sloppy enough that they can't do it. I think there's some kind of a streak where Ole Miss is beaten G5 opponents in Oxford or something like that by 30 points. I think that comes to an end in this game. Washington State's a good program. They're going to get everything right. I like the hire of Jimmy Rogers. I guess you can tell that by my voice, but I think Ole Miss has a chance to do this. Now, if you look at props in this game, Kewan Lacy, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's kind of where my head is right now. I think Trinidad Chambliss is going to fall short of the 300 passing yards and 50 yards rushing in this game, which because he's not going to play the whole game. So the stats are not going to be there to be gotten. I think Austin Simmons is going to play this game, and I do think that Ole Miss will have a 3+ sack game against Zevi Eckhouse and the Washington State Cougars. We'll see exactly how that goes. Either way, I think Ole Miss is going to blast the Washington State Cougars, and move on to the Georgia Bulldogs for the number 4 ranked Ole Miss Rebels. Thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your go-to source for Ole Miss sports. We pride ourselves in offering the most comprehensive perspectives, which is why we're the front door of Ole Miss. Don't believe me? Google Ole Miss podcast and see how much we come up. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps the show, and it's completely free. Your support means the world to us. And another big moment for Locked On, college football fans. Locked On and Fire TV are presenting College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation, alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview show only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. Hotty toddy, everyone, and remember, analytics is just the old English word that means bad football. We'll see you tomorrow.